Hello, beautiful love goddess. How are you doing on this gorgeous, gorgeous afternoon? I want to talk to you about a subject that is super crucial, but there is so much misunderstanding about this. And I keep referring in my messages to embracing your feminine erotic energy and really dive into it to find your own power. But what does that really mean? And what does that really do for you? And how do you take the words from this theoretic place into your actual daily place of embodying that erotic energy? And how do you use that erotic energy to create better life for yourself? So that is what I want to talk to you about, and I am excited to get started. Um, we've we have talked about Love Goddess and her archetype and her ability to not only be confident within her own life, but use her erotic energy to charge up and help her make those decisions and help her take that step. And I keep hearing all of you saying, I want to be confident in my life. And a lot of times I ask you, why do you want to do a boudoir session? The answer that I get is, oh, I want to feel beautiful and I want to feel confident, whatever that means. And I always wondered, like, what does that mean? Like, as far as the confidence is such a broad subject, like, how does boudoir session make you feel confident? How do you how does having boudoir session makes you feel confident in public speaking? And I started narrowing down my understanding of what you girls are wanting. To me, it was hard to really like nail it down because I have had confidence. I've and I've learned to be confident a long time ago, so it's like natural part of my life. So it's almost like it's almost requiring me to go back to the time when I did not feel confident, which was, I don't even remember when that was. And that is my challenge. That is my challenge to connect to that time when I didn't feel confident so I can walk that backwards and really nail down the pointers that have helped me to become confident. And I couldn't, because confidence has been part of who I am ever since I was probably 21, right? And I took charge of my own destiny. I proposed to my husband. I took the made a decision to travel to United States. I was a stubborn brat who followed my own instincts, who followed my own gut and my own desires, and that has led me to where I am today. So I've never overstepped myself, and possibly I'm really blessed in a sense where I had the opportunities and nobody was really pressing or pushing me to stand against me. And if they were, I would just not accept that person or just cut that person out of my life altogether. And I was very radical about standing up for myself, my values, my opinion, my desires, ever since I was consciously understanding what it is that I wanted and what it is that I was going for. And a lot of you are in that space. A lot of you are knowing what it is that you desire, and a lot of you are kind of, sort of going towards that. However, second guessing yourself possibly. And for me, that never been a case, right? For me, I always knew that my desires always come true. I just need to focus on them, and everything within the universe will start working for me. So I had to have that radical belief that what I'm doing is right, and if I'm not doing certain things right, they either not gonna turn out well, or I will be redirected and the new path will show up for me. So I had that strong belief, and my spiritual world has always been with me by my side, and it has been my guidance system. It's been my guidance system in knowing and trusting and being confident in my own life. right? Having this really strong spiritual connection is crucial. Having that belief system that things work out for you all the time, and that there are forces outside of your reality, that your physical reality, that you may not even see or understand or feel if you are super disconnected from sensing what's going on in the energy world. Then it is crucial for you to be confident, right? How do you add that erotic energy that's gonna charge everything up? Well, to me, your erotic energy, first of all, your erotic energy is your life force. This is your creative energy, this is your imagination, this is your daydreaming, this is like all of that is your erotic energy. And you can apply it within more of a sexual fantasy kind of reality, or you can use that exact same energy and apply it towards your daily life. That energy is going to tickle your stomach, gives you butterflies, makes you daydream, and allows you to imagine the better life for yourself. And so, what most women do, especially if they go through life, especially if they have kids, especially if they going through the motions, especially if they are feeling stuck where they at in the current state of life, they're married with kids. Who are my primary clients? They're women in their 30s, mid 30s, mid 30s to mid 40s, who are stuck, who kind of found comfort where they at, but there's nothing beyond, and they've lost that connection to their sexuality, to feeling beautiful, to feeling sexy, because there's kids and there's husband, but the life itself is kind of like blah. Like okay, I've achieved that and it's boring and I don't know what's next, right? So those are the main women who come to me, and they feel that there is a next level that's possible for them, and what that next level is, we are discovering. But the way I approach things is through connecting to your erotic identity, to your erotic energy. And yet again, that erotic energy is not necessarily sexy, which really helps. Like if you want to feel sexy, and that's how you want to embody yourself or dive yourself into that energy altogether and soak it up, that's gonna catapult you in such a bigger, further way, than if you just kind of like approached it with this more of a use your brain and logical kind of sense. Like you want to dive into your emotions, and you want to dive into that feeling of excitement. And a lot of times that feeling of excitement comes from me myself feeling sexy, and me myself feeling beautiful, and me myself feeling desired, admired, and loved and special. And that is what really helps my erotic energy to raise up and flow, right? It is literally our kundalini energy going upwards and like awakening all of our chakras in our body, right? So however, that is also your creation energy, your imagination energy, and that puts the start of the new chapter in your own life through that energy. If you can't imagine what your new life is going to be like, would you really go for it? Would you really dream about it? Because if you have no clarity, and that is where majority of population is sitting, they have no clarity about where they want to go in life, what they want to do in life, what the next step is. A lot of women in their mid 30s, mid 40s achieved a certain level of what they've been told to achieve, such as having a family and getting married, get a good job, like, and then what? And so we get stuck in a rut where we don't even have big dreams and aspirations anymore. We think we've reached our limit, and we have no idea that there's so much more that is possible for us. There's so much more that is possible for us to achieve, and we are meant to live this epic life not the average life that we are trying to settle for. And I know that there is so much more that is possible for you, but you are your own box and you are your own limitation. And you create these boundaries for yourself simply because you can't think bigger. You can't think higher. You can't have bigger picture. You're not allowing yourself to dream bigger. You are only acting within the reality that you think is possible, and you simply cannot even imagine what's beyond that box that you have created for yourself. Or like, or if you dream just slightly better, and you not really allowing yourself to dream. And unlimitedness of thinking is the most magical thing in that exists. I read a book right now about, it's called Creating Money. I've read it by Sanya Roman. I've read it before, and it has made such a huge impression and as well as an impact on my money life. However, I haven't touched the book in a very long time, and it's probably been close to 4 to 5 years since I've read it. And I'm rereading the book, and there's so much inspired. Like, I'm literally sitting and highlighting every single word because of how the wealth of information. Also, every time you reread the same book, you get new ideas and you start seeing things differently because you yourself are on a different level of development or on a different level of life. You are higher on that mountain that you are climbing, so you have bigger, better vision. And the entire concepts that are being told or being spoken within the book are showing differently to you. You see other things being applied in a different way. You read the same words and you read them differently, and you have different outcomes. And that is the importance of rereading the books over and over, because you start noticing things you haven't noticed. And if you read them later in life, you completely your the same sentence may give you a completely different set of ideas, right? Because you're coming from a different place, from a place of higher on the mountain here, right? So when you are in the state where you allow to dream big, that is when your erotic energy comes to play. And we are so programmed, we're so programmed to think that your erotic energy is only associated with your sexual energy, with your sexual desire, with you wanting to have sex, with you being horny, with you like being, and we are so limited in the way that we've been told or taught or projected on from all the things that we've seen online, through porn culture, through what the school taught us, through what our friends told us, which is not very broad spectrum. And what I am here to do is to expand your understanding of that erotic energy that is crucial for you, because it's not only, it is, sexual aspect of it is huge part of it, but it's not the only part of it. It is your imagination that sparks that passion, and through your imagination, you create fantasies within your own sexual realities as well. And that is what is exciting. And that is what's sparking your desire. But it works the same way on the other side of a spectrum where it's not sexual, and it doesn't have to be sexual, but it's the same energy that's at play. Your fantasy energy, your energy of excitement, your energy of living, your energy of creating this amazing thought forms for yourself, your ideas of how big life is possible for you, how much can you allow, how much goodness can you allow within yourself and within your life as well, to in order to really start moving forward towards that dream life that you're really wanting. And so that is what that erotic energy is about. And how do we connect to our power when we really embrace that erotic energy? How do we connect to our power when we embrace our sexual erotic energy and when we embrace our creative erotic energy? And I think that those are the terms that I would want to be using to specify that there is difference, and you're using the same set of energies, they're just two sides of the same coin, right? They're two aspects of the same thing. And when you step into your power of dreaming big and fantasizing, whether it's sexual fantasies or your life fantasies of daydreaming, you create this flow of ideas in the energy form, in the energy world, that is like a wave forward, clearing the path. And if you know how the laws of the universe work, all these spiritual entities that are here to help you start clearing the way and creating circumstances and the path for the wonderful and beautiful unfolding for you. But you are the creator. You are the creator of that desire and dream. And when we suppress that energy, whether it is within the sexual realm or whether it is in the creative realm, you suppress that power and that force that is charged with the motion to create that wave. And therefore, it's not as emotionally charged, therefore it's not that powerful, and the implementation of that or materialization of that or manifestation of that is not as big and grand and beautiful, right? And that is what I want to bring home. Use your erotic energy towards creation, and use your imagination towards creation, because that the more you use that, the more you are excited about that, the more you allow yourself to imagine, to dream, to fantasize, the stronger the implementation and manifestation will come into life through that force that you are creating forward in the energy realm for right now. But then it's gonna always, it's the law, it's always gonna turn into the physical. It's a matter of time. And the stronger your emotions are about this, the quicker it's going to come true for you, right? How do you connect to your power through stepping into embracing your sexuality? So let's look at this from this perspective. Let's look at the woman who is, my normal, like my regular client. She is a family woman. She has 3 kids. She is married, but the sex is okay, but not great, right? Like it's kind of boring. Like life is boring. Like and she comes in and she says, "Oh, I'm in such a mom identity. I am so disconnected from, from exploring, or from even knowing what sexuality is, what being sexy is, and I think I want to find out, and I think I want to learn." Well, why does that work? Because when you step into that shape and form of being sexy, you are creating a stronger set of emotions that are more charged up energetically, more charged up with desire. And the reason why this works is because every single person, and the reason why I am leading you through that force, that power, is because every single person knows what, what having sexual desire is, and it's like it's leading through pleasure, and every single person wants that or have experienced that. Versus if I was teaching you how to achieve certain things through your imagination, it is still possible, but not everyone has learned to live life from that perspective, right? But every single person wants to experience pleasure through sex. So that's a great avenue for all of you to really connect and understand that aspect of how much more powerful charging it up with emotion, charging it up with feeling, connected to yourself, connected to your identity. And I'm going even further, saying that that is your erotic identity. And your erotic identity is simply your connection to yourself. It's your very intimate connection to your very own self, to your authentic desires that sometimes you are afraid to express, but you are leading towards pleasure, and that is your guiding force, right? And I am narrowing it down and really kind of focusing, okay, sexual pleasure, use that as your guiding force, because we all can connect to that aspect, to embody that, to charge our life with more emotions and more experiences. And we all can create more fun in our lives through sexual pleasure versus anything else, that the idea that you may not be connecting with. Sometimes I go through these periods of like when I set goals and I'm so fired up and so excited, but then something happens and I get disconnected from those goals and ideas, and it's hard for me to find it again. Eventually I end up finding it because I do some personal work, and it's ongoing process. But if I keep talking to you from a perspective of the sexual pleasure, we all very strongly connected to that. So it's almost hard to not understand or hard to not feel it, right? We are so connected to that part of life, that part of our desires, and it's always there. So I'm using that to guide you through that, because you can easily connect to those kind of desires. You may not necessarily yet admit to that, or you've been so programmed to really be a good girl and not talk about sex, and sex is taboo and such a taboo topic because you were raised in a Christian society where with Christian parents who told you you can't have that and that, and you can't talk about that and that, and you have to be a good girl. And you raised with those kind of values that it's hard for you to talk about it, yet deep down you have just your desires are just the same, just as any other women who are openly talking about it, right? So every person can connect to that aspect, whether you are openly talking about it or you still believe that this is a taboo that you're not supposed to talk about, right? And I am guiding you through connecting to that emotion, that energy, that path, so you can understand and embody it quicker, better, and have more fun in your life. And the more fun you have, the much more power um, you have to change your life, because you're charging your life with those emotions already, right? And the more you experience that, the more you attract that. So that is how you change your life. That is how you connect to that power. And power is simply, what is power anyway? Power is when you are so deeply connected and you give yourself permission and knowledge that no matter what you do, you step forward into that and you will be successful. And that is your power, your belief, your non-negotiable belief that when you step into that, you will become this more confident version of yourself. And that's when the full circle goes into a full circle, right? Or women who want to feel confidence, but it's not just confidence, it's power. It's power that they're looking for, and power comes from embracing that energy, that those emotions that are so strong, leaning into those emotions that are strong and using them to empower you, right? Leaning into those emotions that are guiding you, leaning into those emotions that are charging your energetic output into being more magnificent, more magnetizing, and stronger in the way you attract things to you. I know I talk a lot of these woo-woo subjects, and I I sometimes question, do I make sense? Do you understand how this works? And I really have to believe that when you listen to me, you are listening not with your ears and trying to process with the logic, but with your heart, because that is the only way you can understand. And that is why it was, I keep disconnecting and connecting to that again, because I'm spinning into processing it with my own head, and that's not what we're doing here. You can't process it with your own head, because you need to use your heart to really understand. And we are so trained as human beings to lean into our logic and to make sense and to make the connections, and it's not how it works. You have to lean into your heart to really feel it. And when you lean into your heart and you just imagine, like, what's erotic energy, and you not using your brain, you using your heart, you start understanding how much stronger that is without even questioning how that works. Don't question how that works. Just trust your gut feeling that it works, and it really, really pushes you forward. And with that, my beautiful ladies, thank you so much for tuning in to my daily podcast recordings. I'm so happy to have you here. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And I will